Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden. It's Plant Chat Friday because it's Friday!
We love Plant Chat Friday.
Yeah, yep.
We'll never run out of plants to talk about.
Never.
I don't think.
Now there's so many.
There's so many.
Today we're talking about tulips.
Yay, tulips!
Yay! They're those beautiful flowers you're seeing right now, one of many that are out there right now this
fall
spring.
planted bulb.
Yep. Yep, and if you don't know, there's 14 different kinds, and we're gonna read them to you
so
because there's a lot. So there's the Darwin hybrids, there's the single early flowered ones, there's the single late flowering ones, there's the double lates and the double earlies.
Oh my goodness.
There's Triumph.
I don't know what that looks like.
Me either. There's a fringed, which we have. We're gonna show you those today.
Those are gorgeous.
There's the Fosteranii, there's the Gregii, there's the Kaufmannia, Kaufmanniana.
Wow.
Yeah, lily flowered. There's the parrots, there's the French, there's the viridiflora, and there's the botanical or species type.
Oh, those are beautiful. We don't have those in our yard yet,
No,
but
we don't. But
we should
God,
get
14
some.
different kinds of tulips.
That's so cool.
Oh my God.
You guys,
Jeez.
I'm in love with double tulips. We have some around our yard, and unfortunately, they haven't flowered yet.
Not yet. They're
kind of
coming.
a later. I guess we have the late double ones.
At least for our climate this year.
So we're really highly anticipating those popping open, but we have tulips all over our yard. We want to show you and talk about them. And
Yep. And if you don't know, tulips are a true bulb. They're fall planted, they're spring blooming. They're gorgeous. So let's show you some of ours.
okay, you guys, here's our first stop. I guess we'll call this a tulip tour, kind of like we did a daffodil tour a couple weeks ago. We love this brand new blend we've planted this year from Color Blends, actually. We planted a lot of new bulbs from Color Blends, and we've been really impressed. This is called Misconfection. It's a blend of kind of this, I mean, look at this creamy kind of white.
Gorgeous.
It has kind of a rib of yellow, if you see that.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Kind of up the petal.
Beautiful. So
And then
subtle.
this reddish pinkish rose color almost. It's kind of hard to describe.
Look how the petals just overlay each other so delicately.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my gosh. That's a beautiful cut flower we could bring inside.
We could bring these inside, I know, and we probably should soon because they're kind of on their way out. We had some recent rains that kind of just toppled some of the petals over, so we've got a lot of debris to pick up. And one thing we're going to show you today is how to care for your tulips after they're finished blooming, because there are some things you should consider so that they'll potentially come back next year, maybe.
Yep, not all tulips come back.
Sometimes people consider them annuals, right? And some, or that you can dig them up and try to overwinter them. Look at tulips, you've probably seen either at the store or maybe the bulbs you've bought online. They come in so many different colors. And a lot of tulips can come in either just a single solid color, or they can come in kind of a multicolor. Often you can find them that they look really cool. They almost look like they have like a swirly kind of interesting pattern to them, and that's usually due to a virus. So that's kind of cool too. But basically, tulips are part of the Liliaceae family, which is also known as the lily family, and they're related to all kinds of other bulbs. Obviously, all the lilies and lots of other bulbs that are within this grouping of lily family. Here's some other tulips in our Misconfection blend, and notice none of the red ones came in this grouping that we planted, but they're so beautiful.
So guys, we're here still in our backyard, but in a different area. We've got some tulips here in some containers, which is another great use for them. And you can see here's a fringe type. See that? See that right there? Isn't that beautiful?
Gorgeous. Look at that.
How delicate that is and how that's developed. And it's a double color. It's got the white on the very edge of these flowers, and then it's got that. Is that a bright pink or is that a?
Yeah, kind of a hot or like a.
Oh, just
There's
gorgeous.
another one over here. Now, you guys might be wondering why there's just two of these and why they're kind of small. Well, the reason is these were actually a planter from last year, and they were really big and robust. And often tulips don't come back the second year.
Nope.
So this is kind of cool to see these coming back, and they're smaller in size.
They're probably the younger bulbs that developed over this past year from the bulbs that flowered last year. And so it's a really nice surprise because, yeah, like Allison said, these usually don't come back every year. They're not known to. That's why people have to keep buying them and replenish their tulips many times throughout the years, every year, basically. And so something to think about too is you'll need to dig up your tulips in the area that you live in if it's not in the zones between zones 4 and 10 for hardiness zones. And that's perfectly fine to do. After, what you would do if you're not in those zones, if you're either below 4 or above 10, what you would do is you would take these bulbs, let them go through their biological process, flower, then wither down to the ground, and then you would dig them up and store them dry in a dry and cool place. You'll bring them back out in the late winter time to then wake them up and then get them planted out in your garden to then come back up. So they usually in those zones, if your plant's not hardy between the zones 4 and 10, the bulbs won't be able to, they're not hardy, they won't survive during the winter time in those other zones. So you need to be aware of that if you're gonna have these out in your garden and want them to continually come back. So guys, if you have to dig the bulbs up and you want to wake them up in the late winter time, there's a process to that. And what you need to do is have the bulbs, you need to give them a cold type of treatment for so many days, because that's what's going to activate the bulb to actually wake up. So if they don't get that cold treatment for so many days, and we can talk to you about this later on with more specifics, but if they don't get that cold treatment for so many days, they won't start growing and they won't flower. They won't be triggered to start growing that next year. So that's something that you'll need to take into account if you store these and then want to wake them up to plant them for the next spring. So for care needs, you guys, you need to think about these tulips. They need full sun, they need regular watering, but they only need regular watering while they're actively growing and flowering. After they're done flowering, you can stop watering them and they will wither back down to the ground and they'll go dormant again. But what you want to do is make sure that you don't cut the whole plant down when they're done flowering. You want to keep the green so they can stay photosynthesizing until they naturally wither down to the ground. And that's because you want the bulbs to get all that energy stored back down there, so then they can survive throughout the next year, and then come back even stronger that next spring. Guys, again, we're still in the backyard. This is yet another container full of many different plants. This is our mixed container of different bulbs, but we have misconfection right here, and these tulips are just gorgeous. And you want to think about too, when you're planting these, you want to think about the size that your tulips are actually they're going to get. So they can actually get from anywhere from 6 inches all the way to 24 inches to 2 feet tall, and that's crazy. That's a huge range of sizes. So you have a lot of different opportunities with tulips during the spring. Also, we didn't mention it already, the species name of all these different tulips, there's really not a specific species unless you get into those 14 different types. For the species name, it's very general. It's just tulip, and then the next letters are SP period, because there's a lot of different versions of tulips out there. Like we told you, there's 14 different types. So it's just tulip general species. And so that's what we have here in our garden. It's just beautiful. And you can see some of these guys are already starting to show little signs of withering. I think we have one over here. Yeah, this guy right here, it's missing some of its petals. This flower's missing. Oh, there it goes. Oops.
Oh, wow. Look how beautiful those are on the inside. It's just like such a surprise.
Yep. Gorgeous, you guys.
Isn't that gorgeous?
So these were ready to come off because I barely touched these. So this is, you're going to see this happen with your tulip flowers. They're going to lose their petals, just drop, and you're going to be left with basically the stem and the leftover part of the flower. And so you can either leave these, if you're okay with just seeing that, that's perfectly fine. If not, what you want to do, if you want to keep this the green leaf tissue, is you'll come in and you'll basically get in here, come down to the first leaf on this stem, and you can just cut this whole stem off of this flower right down to there and leave that green. And there you go. There's the flower stem, and we can just throw that out. And it's still very beautiful with all this lush green, lush green leaves.
Okay, you guys, we're in the front yard now, and this is actually the best show of tulips we have, we feel like, because we just can't stop coming out here and looking and taking tours. It's just every day, more tulips are popping open.
There's more
Look
there.
at this blend, you guys.
Yep.
There's some more behind us. Mm-hmm. This is called Beauty of Spring. These are from Color Blends.
Let's take a look at those.
I mean, you guys.
Wow.
Look at that color. I just love the red piping around each of the petals.
Oh my gosh.
This is such a beautiful tulip. So the dilemma for us is, okay, well, these are hardy in our zone, but are they going to come back next year? We're not always guaranteed with that.
Nope.
So it's like, do we dig them up and overwinter them, which we usually don't do with our tulips, or do we just buy more? And maybe some of these will pop up next year, and maybe we'll be surprised. I don't know. We'll have to decide what we want to do.
Yeah, that's a decision for later.
But we want to show you some more tulips kind of up this way.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're there.
More misconfection.
Look at all those.
You can
Oh my
see some of
gosh.
them are starting to get droopy and petals are starting to fall off, but look at how beautiful these are.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Every
look at all
day,
that
you
color.
guys.
And I know we come out here and we take a walk around the front yard and it's just like, oh my gosh, we're surprised every day. It's like
so gorgeous.
It's like a new day every day.
Well, and I'm already looking and taking pictures for next year because we're like, okay, we need more tulips in here, more over there. This is all underneath our dogwood tree, which has not leafed out fully yet. But at this time of year, we knew that this would be perfect timing for these tulips to bloom. Normally, we wouldn't plant them here because they would be in partial shade. But right now, they don't have any obstruction and they bloomed wonderfully, as you can see. So that's always a consideration when you're adding tulips to your landscape. What's going on above where you're planting them? Are they going to be shaded out at a certain time of year? All right, you guys, this is probably the last stop on our tulip tour because this is just a gorgeous container that was full of tulips last year. These all came back this year. Now they're a little bit smaller and not quite as red as they were last year. Remember, Sean, they were really bright red.
Oh, a lot brighter.
Kind of brighter. It was almost like a red, orange, and yellow kind of tricolor.
It still kind of has that, but they're just not as bright as they were last year.
That's cool to think, though, that these are like the younger bulbs, like you explained, Sean, and they came back a little bit different this year.
Yep. You might see that. That could be normal in your area because of different environmental issues or,
These are aphids.
We've got aphids. No.
Whoa. That means they're going to get at our brand new liatris.
We're going to have to do some spraying.
I'm going to have to cut this one. Oh, that's a bummer, you guys. Well, all right,
We'll spray the rest of everything in here. Yeah, guys, so you saw the aphids. It's a big bummer, but they are susceptible, obviously, to the aphids. So besides the aphids, they are susceptible to like digging animals, burrowing animals like moles, voles, gophers, and even squirrels. Yep, so we've seen the squirrels come out and they chew on them. They're not a poisonous type of bulb, unlike narcissus or daffodils that are poisonous. So, I mean, tulips are pretty tasty to a lot of critters.
Like deer, too. Deer are a big problem. A lot of people have told us that they can't have tulips in their yard because a deer will just mow them down. So that's a bummer.
But hey, just keep a lookout for all those pests and critters, and your tulips are going to be beautiful.
They will. And you know, tulips can be planted with so many other plants. There really are like a ton of options. Obviously, daffodils are a great companion, grape hyacinth. We've planted them with all different types of spring flowering bulbs. Alliums are a great option. Anemones,
pansies, Dusty Miller.
There's so many beautiful.
Primroses.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We've pretty much done it all, and they've thrived and done very well. So just experiment and have fun.
And guys, you can use tulips like you saw here in mass plantings, along borders and driveways and walkways. You can put them in pots. You can put them mixed in with other plants. I mean, there's a lot of different uses for them in your landscape and just in gardening in general. So guys, with that, leave your comments and questions down below for us. We love hearing from you, and make sure to subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest videos.
Yeah, thank you for watching and for being here, and come join us tomorrow on our Saturday morning live at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be talking about ornamental grasses.
Yeah, ornamental grasses.
Yeah, different types and the options that are available. So
hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, we hope to see you there. Have a great day, you guys.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.